Hello everyone, welcome back to the second half of our game review. So in the last video, we left this position on the board for everyone with the options A, B, C, and D. So the move that Kitani actually played in the game was here at D. So
Okay.
what do you think about this move?
It looks pretty good as long as black lives in the center.
Yeah, I think it's probably hard to kill black in the center because of the L18 move, right?
Mm-hmm. And it can get out. So it seems like it has two ways to either connect or jump out into the center.
Yeah, so black should be fine there, but we'll have to see what happens in the actual game. But let's go back to the other options that we have here. We can start with A. And as you were saying, this is more of a choice you think that Kitani would make later on in his career?
Yeah, because it's more solid and aims at C11. And points-wise, the game, because there's no Komi, it feels the points are pretty close, even if white gets the entire left side of the board. And then there's still that weakness at C11, and then the corner's still open. And it doesn't really feel like there's a good move for white to actually protect that.
Well,
like
do you think
playing something?
Well, do you think that white could potentially attack the bottom right side?
Not in one move, because the bottom side is so weak. It feels like white would have to do something like M6, and then it would need another move. But in that time, black can do something to either defend himself or start attacking the upper side.
Yeah, I would say that the two whites on the bottom, even though they have a base, probably weaker than black. So I would agree that since there's no Komi at the time, that this wouldn't necessarily be a bad move, but it's definitely a more passive way to play.
Yeah, and Kitani early in his career really liked to fight and be aggressive. And C17 is probably the most aggressive move here.
Yeah.
So that's probably why he played that.
And then B
for the same
here,
reason, that's probably why B is not played, because that'd just be too passive.
Yeah, because this would just, I mean, it's getting black out into the center right now, but is there anything that black can actually do? I mean, like if white has to respond right here, then this is probably an okay exchange, but it doesn't really feel like it gains too much, you know?
That, and it feels like Dame. Like it's not making any points or reducing any points.
Yeah, it
While
feels
playing
like
in the corner is making points, or at least at A, it's making points.
Yeah, and it's like the group in the middle is already strong, so you don't really need to make it more strong in order to invade the top left or something. And then last, the move C.
Yeah, C, I think it's just not.
It's bad timing, I think.
Yeah, because turning at J12 is probably Sente, which means he can defend himself, probably in Sente.
And so it seems that just after this, white is probably alive on both sides, and there's no real need. Like the turn doesn't do much, so black would have to already come out to H11 before this in order to make this severe.
So later we might even see, instead of playing in 13 first, he might probe at somewhere around like R12 or Q12 to make that group weaker before playing something like in 13.
Yeah. All right, so this is what was played in the game, and you know the like I was looking at this for a little bit, and it felt like the first move that I'd want to play is around like B16.
I was thinking about the kick, but B16 is probably similar.
Yeah, I was thinking about B16 because like if you think of it as like the black Tanuki'd after the press, normally you would play B16 next. But because black has this wall here, it seems maybe it's a bit too difficult to kill it if you do that.
Although I think you're thinking of the wrong position. Because normally, I think you're thinking of the C16 one, and white approach is high at E16.
Oh, but it's a similar. It's a similar shape, though.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. It's just a similar shape, so that would be the initial instinct move that I would think of.
Okay.
Because when I try to think of moves, I try to relate them to other shapes that I know as well.
Because the reason I don't really like B16 is because black can push at C16. And if white or black white blocks at C15, B17 is almost Sente. So it feels like it gets a little bit stronger in the corner faster. While if you kick at C16,
black will probably D17, right?
If he Hane's there at B16 and white just blocks, he doesn't really have I shape there yet. Or
I guess
if
it'll end up being basically the same, though.
Yeah, it might.
We'll see what they did in the game real quick. He does do the kick in the game. We'll see how Black responds first. Yeah, so this is what I thought he would do. I thought he would bump here.
Okay, yeah, that seems like the only move. It feels like it might be a ko-shape.
Because of the Hane, like it would be. Yeah, it seems like it would be like a ko thing, because White has to respond here. And let's see. Let's see if he does make a ko. Oh, okay. So Black does Hane here, but then he does this one first, which is using his thickness. Because if White blocks, Black will probably be able to do the clamp, so White would have to defend there. Then it wouldn't be a ko anymore. And there's the Atari at D16.
Yeah, it seems too good for Black.
That's why I was thinking.
But if F6 or F18 is not good, maybe he just takes at B17.
If F18
and just lets him connect. But even then, it feels like if Black gets F18, his stick group in the center is strong and alive.
Yeah.
And White lost a bunch of points, so it'd feel like it would almost be game over.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me, and like that's why I was thinking. With this one, if he bumps again, that's a different thing. He's just living in the corner, though, is what I feel. Because I was thinking he could potentially do something like this, and live in the corner, but it'd be Gote.
Yeah, it also is really strong for White.
Yeah, that's why I was. That's the thing that I was imagining there. And is there a different way that Black could play here? It seems difficult for White to play differently.
I was thinking about maybe E16 works.
E16, just backing off here?
It depends on if he can fight. No, attaching on the other side first. But it seems like it doesn't work.
But like Black can't really do this one. I mean, even if we just do this,
yeah,
it seems like it's.
That's what I was thinking about. But the reason I was thinking was a squeeze, to where White keeps the corner, but Black gets a little bit stronger on the outside. In Sente, it would seem. But maybe that's too many points to give up.
Maybe because it would be making the corner bigger in this case.
Yeah.
Which the point with the invasion was to try to do. That's why I still think that this is like a good shape here. Because it seems to be difficult for Black to handle.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Whereas with this one just seems like there's sort of a one-way street here. Hane here, and then White has a hard time. And in the game, White does actually decide to take here.
Okay.
Which Black.
So yeah, this feels like almost game over.
Yeah, Black Atari's first.
Just Atari and then extend.
Yeah. I want to make sure that's what he actually did, because sometimes he could do something different.
And White does get Sente here, but it doesn't feel like he can actually use it.
Well, it feels like Black gained a lot of points on the top. That weren't there before.
His one somewhat weak group is now strong.
Yeah, and he has another weak group, but it seems difficult to attack.
Yeah.
So it seems
because
too hard.
M15 doesn't seem to work. The only thing I can think of would be something around maybe O2 or O3 or P2 or something like that to try and take away the I shape there.
Yeah.
But it seems too easy for Black to just run out. But I guess it's also making some points and making White stronger.
Yeah,
so maybe
if he's able to make enough points from it, then it should be good enough. But yeah, this seems really good for Black. So let's see.
Because now Black has almost no weak groups, and White shape looks really bad in the top right.
Yeah. So White does try to attack right away with this move.
Okay.
It seems difficult to play any other move here, so it makes sense why he chose this one.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking more P2, but I guess Black can't really get an eye there, so it makes sense.
Yeah, there's no eye there with O3 as well, so yeah.
Yeah.
If he has to worry about
center, I'd probably want to defend here, but knowing Kitani, he's probably going to try and fight back. He's not going to defend. But I'm not sure where you would fight back. Maybe a peep at Q12? Or splitting now at N13 would be a good way. Or maybe that move you said last time, the Q11 to press down, but
yeah, I don't know.
It feels like Black would try and attack here.
Well, I think Q11 would be like a one that might defend as well as attack. So that maybe that one could be interesting. But he could also invade to try to get some profit from it at R12. So yeah, I'm not sure. This is a good question. Like me, I think I'd probably just do something like N5.
Or that's actually what I was. Yeah, I would play. I'd play N4.
Well, something along those lines, though, just to like
yeah
make some shape into the center. It seems hard to kill. But let's see. Oh, he does decide to invade first, which, as I said, it does make sense. But it's
and Q12 is probably the only move here to defend the cut. Then I'm guessing he has to Hane after that, or is he going to extend to R11? Because then he can connect under, but it just feels like the lower right corner is just getting weaker and weaker if white gets stronger on the outside. But maybe because of our reasoning that N4 or N5 works pretty well, that he feels even if white does get strong on the outside, he can play something in the center pretty easily.
Yeah, it seems like this is a good proactive way to do everything. It seems.
Yeah.
White probably does have to just defend directly. Yeah, that's what he did here. And so, what do you think Black's profit's going to be here?
I say he probably just connects under, because it feels like the Hane at Q11 doesn't quite work because he just gets cut, and playing R13 right away doesn't work.
Oh, maybe
so the only move I think is R11.
Well, if he does do Q11, is he able to do a shortage of liberties on the Q10 stone at all?
You mean R10?
R10 stone, whatever. I pointed at it in the video. It's all good.
Okay. It doesn't feel like he profits. Like he would get some more extra on the outside, but it's hard to say what that extra on the outside is actually getting.
Well, if he's able to cut it to N13, it might be useful. But I mean, it's. But
again, I don't think white's going to die there.
Yeah, it's just something that seems difficult for me to figure out.
So it seems easier to just take points and connect under, because with something like R11 and then maybe S10 or maybe R13 first. And then if he does connect under, I think white would have to either play N13 to connect, which has some weakness there, or play S8 to connect.
So I think
N13 is really big.
So I looked at the next move, and I think the next two moves to see what's going on. I think we're sort of on the wrong idea, actually.
Okay.
Now the bump here is what he's trying to do, but white extends.
So maybe black was trying to cut there.
Well, black would probably cut there, but let's see if the cut just works at all. He could connect up under. Well, I guess he can't really too easily. But maybe the cut doesn't work exactly, but this is still good enough. Because like this would be fine, or if he can play the other move, of course.
Yeah.
But that seems like white lost its entire base. So what white's doing here is he's trying to change up the situation.
Yeah, this is one of those shapes where I kind of have a blind spot with, because to me this normally always ends badly for white or the person that does the extend. And normally the Q11 move is normally better.
Yeah.
But I guess the situation is kind of different because of the P9 stone.
Well, and
so maybe
we also have to think of the fact that the bottom group is not alive.
That, and even if white does play R13, there's still a chance that there's a Ko there. So white doesn't want to lose all of his points. So he's trying to make it a little bit harder for black, I think.
Well, because what happens in the game here is that black pushes through and white just extends here.
Okay, so maybe.
And then it happens again.
Maybe black is trying to get a squeeze here, and white is trying to prevent the squeeze. But I don't see a squeeze.
To me, it seems like white is
separating the lower side.
Well, separating black from the other side, and black still has to take the profit here before it.
Yeah, to me it looks more like black is separating white, but
well, because I think that I like the idea of thinking of it as white separating black because the bottom group is bigger. So even if the top group dies, the bottom group is worth way more points. So
yeah,
if he's able to do a strong attack, then it's.
But it feels kind of desperate to me, because if black takes those stones, it's kind of set territory, while the bottom is open.
But as what happens in the game is that white does extend again, and black still owes another move to take those stones. But before black does that, he decides to go and defend the bottom group.
Okay, so he plays my move.
Yep.
1 point for Brandon.
1 point for Brandon. Sure. Yeah, so it's so I think even Kitani here is thinking that if he just takes the stones right now, it's a bit too small.
Yeah. So yeah, so he defends, but he just defends at the last moment, which I think is what you're supposed to do.
Well,
isn't always supposed to be last minute. You're supposed to invade at the last moment before it's complete and defend one move before it's too late.
It's not for defending. It's defend. You want to defend before your opponent can profit.
Oh, okay.
And so like sometimes when you have a weak group in the middle, them attacking you and just getting a little bit of a strength in the center is good enough profit for them. So if you can defend for them from doing that first, even if it's not urgent right away, just helps make the game easier.
Yeah, but the one thing I kind of find funny in this game, which I do in a lot of Kitani's games, is that White has all these walls that just don't look like they're doing much.
Yeah, a bunch of sticks everywhere.
Yeah. If they were playing 5 in a row, it'd be pretty good. He would have won twice, but
let's see.
Right now, it just feels pretty bad.
So should
White probably defends? It feels bad to let Black defend the bottom and kill the top.
Well, it feels bad to let Black get M4 too easily.
But it feels. I don't know.
So that's interesting. This is actually a good move that I wasn't thinking about. White comes out here because Black is actually.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, because Black has to live. So he has to connect under here, probably with R13.
Yeah, R13 basically connects under, but then there's still Liberty issues too.
Yeah, there's still Aji there, maybe a Ko, but a Ko is better than nothing.
Yeah.
And maybe S14 works, but.
Yeah, so it feels like to me, because this is what he does, he's just connecting up. But it feels like to me like Black got rid of White's 10 points there at the sacrifice of making his bottom group much weaker.
Yeah,
and so it depends on
points.
Well, it depends on what White's able to do to the bottom group, I guess.
Yeah, it feels like White has to kill to win.
I wouldn't say kill.
Well, points wise, I think Black is way ahead. So he has to either profit a lot, especially when he has no Komi.
Yeah, so
or he has to kill or something. He has to get a lot of profit.
Yeah, so Black is connected up here, and I think he does have to get profit, but I'm not sure he has to kill anything too much. But what White does is pushes through here.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking if he was trying to kill, I would think M4. But O4 feels more like he's trying to profit. Like if he blocks, he gets to cut off the one stone, making his group stronger. And at the same time, Black is still not alive.
But then that gives Black that attachment at O2, which is good for helping make shape on the bottom.
Well, if you don't extend, you take it, which gets rid of the attach being Sente, right? But then there's the Atari.
Yeah, no, we'll just see.
Which helps Black get out, but he still doesn't have enough eyes.
Well, Black does have to just block here, of course. It's the only move. And then then White cuts. Black will just defend, and then White captures directly.
Okay, so that's pretty much what I said. And then I was saying the Atari was big, but
yeah, no, I was just thinking that the normal shape here. If he does the normal shape, then there's this attachment here, which is annoying.
Yeah, but I think the Atari is not as bad as the attach. So it's better to connect.
Yeah, but the Atari feels like it makes him get out so much faster.
It does, but he's not completely out, and it doesn't really help him make eyes. Which I think White is trying to profit, and to profit a lot without killing, he would have to keep it weak for as long as possible.
Oh wow! So I mean, like this move makes sense. But I thought that he would probably just jump out, right?
Yeah,
just like L7 or something. And now he's out into the center, and the game should be fine. But Black connects here.
So Black's trying to kill White. Because I think this is making S9, or it feels like he's aiming if White Tanukis, Black plays S8, and then with the S1 Hane to live, and then his center stones, or White's center stones, are completely cut off.
Yeah,
and look really weak.
So and he's also White would probably have to. Yeah, White would probably have to play S8 here, right?
Unless there's a more fancy way, like just pushing or maybe
could do
Q8. Pushing might not be Sente, but
well, it doesn't matter if it's Sente. I mean, if he's just responding to the move.
Yeah, but if R7 push, I think Black just plays Q8, and then White still has to play S8. So it feels like a wasted move.
Yeah, that's why just S8
so
directly.
Q8 feels like the vital point. Does Q8 work? So if you play Q8, I don't think Black can play S8. I think he has to connect. So maybe S8 is best. I don't think it just feels bad to play the connection directly.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does play Q8 first.
Oh, he does. Mm-hmm. I didn't think that worked because it feels the same to where if Black just plays R7, White has to connect, and then it feels like with Q9, White just lost a stone there for nothing.
Well, so here Black just does this to get the extra eye. Now he's alive, basically.
Yeah.
And there's still a possibility of him not being alive, but he's basically alive now.
Yeah.
So this, like, you're thinking of Black just doing this?
Mm-hmm. And then it feels like White has to connect, and then when Black plays Q9, it feels like it lives with more.
You can do this, right? And then this one.
Turn.
And then he can live in the corner. There's this Aji here.
Yeah.
But there's this Aji. So there's a lot of little weird things here.
Mm-hmm. So maybe it is better just to live with O2 then.
And it could be that with this one, if he takes this isn't Sente anyway.
Yeah.
So you'd have to play here to force another move, and that doesn't seem very good.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem like you'd want to take that stone right away.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's just a makes his shape weaker thing.
Yeah, maybe. Because now if White plays Q9, then...
Yeah, the shape would be weak, but Black doesn't necessarily want to do it himself.
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably why after this, Black just decides to get his eye on the bottom here.
Mm-hmm.
Or his I guess it would be like a half eye because it's not completely an eye.
Yeah. But he has probably an eye around P5.
Yeah. So it seems like he's basically alive at this point.
Yeah.
And of course the sequence is just this, and then Yatari's here.
Yeah, makes sense. And now I feel he might play R7 after White connects.
Yeah.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, that's what happens here, because that would make sense. I mean, because if he decides to Tanuki now, White can get a little bit more in this area, and he can also attack the shape a bit more still. So he might as well make his shape stronger.
Yeah.
But
and it looks almost like Sente because S8 and then connecting to S10 seems really big. Unless is S8 not Sente anymore?
It should still be Sente to turn there. But what White wants to what White seems to be doing in the game is this turn instead.
Okay, so it's really slow to block.
Yeah, if Black's already
S8,
alive
so
there,
it's trying to get more. Yeah.
So you want to make sure all of your groups are strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so and here connects all three of his weak groups.
Mm-hmm. And Black still owes a move to do something here anyway, so Black may not even play it now.
I would probably play S8 right now and try and connect under. But like you said, after S8, I can play S9. But so maybe something else. So maybe C7 is better.
And maybe just playing somewhere else right now, yeah.
Yeah, C7 would be big, I think.
But
and it still opens up the weakness at C11.
But Black does turn first.
Oh, okay.
And then White does do this move. And then Black goes back over here.
Okay.
So it's basically exactly what you're thinking, but he wanted to get the exchange in first. Like that's the sort of thing that's hard for me to decide, like if I should exchange that first.
Yeah, that's what I was confused about, because it feels like after S8, S9, the S9 feels better for White than for Black.
Mm-hmm.
But I suppose it's still Sente for Black to play T8 or something. But
yeah, but
it's hard to say what Black gained with that.
Yeah, or if this could have been a co-thread or something, or
yeah,
it's hard to say. But I guess T8 is a more direct co-threat, whereas S8, you still sort of owe another move just to make it do anything, and then you could make it smaller. I don't know.
Okay.
It's hard to say.
And I know a cool way to prevent C11.
A cool way to prevent C11, yeah?
Yeah.
The bump.
Yep.
You like that move a lot.
I love the bump. It's
What
power
about just
go.
attaching underneath at B7?
It should be Gote.
Yeah,
It
but
just feels okay. So if white plays B7, black can either play B8 and take that stone and get a little bit more profit, or he can play B6, and if white backs off, black can take Sente to Tanuki.
well, white
the
is getting more of a center here now.
Yeah.
It's slowly sort of starting to form somehow.
Yeah. It's not going to be very much, but I don't know, the bump feels more forceful. So if white bumps and then black Tanukis, B7 just feels more powerful.
I think if you attached in black Tanukis, it would still be the same. But no, yeah, I just wanted to bring up the attachment as well, because I think that's what we'd probably play in modern games, is the attachment instead, because you don't really see the bump as often anymore.
Yeah, and I really like the bump.
The bump, yeah, I know you do, and he does do the bump, by the way.
Okay. Because it just feels like black gets a little bit over concentrated, because it feels like black has to extend either up or down here. I'd probably extend down.
Yeah, extending down is the move.
Okay, and then white still has a Hane at D7 later.
But to me, this doesn't feel like it's actually defended the C11 invasion yet, because the B7 stone's still threatening the invasion.
I think it's not really. It has a good end game, but it feels like a good way to get Sente.
Oh, if you need Sente, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that it's not completely killing the Aji yet.
Yeah. But it helps fix. It's like a patch. Like for now, it's good enough.
So what do you think white would play here to take advantage of the Sente that he got? It's hard to say,
so
right?
I have a few ideas. One is I would like to play M6 to sort of connect the top group with the little or the lower group. There's also something to like capturing the P9 stone to get some eye shape there. Which the best way is probably to play something like P7 and then capture. But L7 also kind of works. I just want to defend the top right group because it has no eye shape. So I either want to connect it with something on the bottom, or even like a turn at J12, trying to connect to the left side. But the reason I think he might capture P8 or P9 is because it makes some points while turning at J12 or playing M6 or L7 doesn't exactly make points.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Like also capturing the P9 stone threatens to attack black again.
Yeah, because it's not quite alive. And then there's also still S15 there, but it looks like it might be a Ko.
Oh,
or if S15 maybe play maybe S12 doesn't quite work. Because I was thinking S12, but then there's like T16 you have to worry about, but then black can play S10. So I'm not sure. My bet would be to capture the P9 stone or S15.
But S15, if he just connects underneath, there's nothing that white can do, right?
Well, you can get some eye shape with something like S11. Yeah, but you can't kill it.
Yeah, but it's not even getting eye shape yet, because as we know, that shape on the bottom isn't actually an eye.
So
not until later.
So in that case, probably taking P9 somehow is probably.
Yeah,
and the peep is probably the best way.
Yeah, that is what was played, and this goes back to what I was probably talking about earlier. Is like I think he wants to try to attack black more. I was saying that before
black connects, then he still doesn't have two eyes.
Yeah, before the bump on the other side. So I'm glad that this did come back up.
Okay. We want to get him with perfect timing, but we're at least
we know what we're doing.
Predicting some of the moves. Yeah.
So black, of course, just keeps his eye intact.
Then 0-1, I'm guessing.
I would guess that that he does play 0-1.
Okay.
And we make it a Ko, or just I guess Ko would be last resort, right? So you'd want to come out first.
You try to jump out first. Can you do something in Sente like does P8 or Q9 work to try and get eye shape?
I guess P8 doesn't exactly work right away.
Or you can even do something like 08, and then if white connects with Q9, you can jump out farther. I guess if that works, then maybe even N8.
Yeah, N8 would be better shape.
Q9. and then jump out.
Yeah, no,
Or the ko.
I do like the N8 one because I think if you play N8, black can cut the 2 stones off at Q9 after that. It's fine.
Or jump out.
Yeah.
The only reason I don't quite like that is because it does feel like it helps white get some eye shape.
No, wouldn't it also be getting rid of white's eye shape?
It is because you're kind of surrounding him at the same time. But if I'm not sure. That's why I was looking at 08 first because it felt like it helped prevent some of the eye shape if white were to capture that stone.
We can look at that real quick because in the game he does end up playing this one instead. So let's see if there's a reason why he might not do this. Well, I guess if white just connects, white has an eye here, right? Like white has an eye,
or more M8 instead of M7, but
I just clicked real quick, but
okay,
you know what I mean though. Yeah. If we do this one though, like white kind of has eye shape things here with cuts and stuff, right? So maybe it's just too much Aji with that.
Yeah,
and even
so you wouldn't. Yeah, so I guess you can say that it's bad to play P8 to connect, and you would want to jump out instead. So you might as well not play 08 at all.
Yeah, it's just better to do the like this. Just threatens it directly, and then you can jump out in much and with better shape.
And then it feels like Q8 is 9 if he wants to keep attacking, but
but it seems
that's not 2 eyes though, is it? If black plays there,
it's I guess
like
it
if
is
black
2
plays
eyes
there and then white plays P8, so then he probably does have to play Q9 if he wants to keep attacking.
Okay, so he's peeping here first to attack.
Can't black just play Q9? Or is it just too small to live and let white play M8?
M8 seems like it might be too big for white to get.
Yeah, it kind of connects all of his weak groups. So maybe he pushes out first.
And it makes a lot of potential in the center to make at least like an extra 10 points or so. Yeah, that seems a little bit too good. That's funny.
Does he play something completely different?
Yeah.
Oh, he does.
I guess he's a little bit worried about something, or he just wants to do this as an exchange first, but he does this one first.
Okay. Well, it seems like it makes a little bit more, and then threatens to connect under to where.
Like it does threaten. I guess since he's decided that he's probably not going to try to get this move, he probably wants to do this one first. Then when white probably connects underneath, let me see. Oh no, he blocks. I guess that's more Aji.
Yeah,
the block is more Aji.
When you connect underneath, there's all the like now black can play R9 still or S10.
Yeah,
and threaten to cut or something. So yeah, it makes sense to block this way.
Yeah, but then it also makes S15 still a potential problem in the future. Yeah. So, but no, like so black probably just decided he didn't want to get that, just going to be coming out into the center anyway. And then he still has the ko on the bottom to make life. So like even though there's all this potential to not get an eye here, he still always has a back door. So it seems a little bit too difficult for white in my opinion.
It does, but he's probably also thinking because the game is probably still pretty close. So if he does let white get too much on the outside, white may catch up a bit.
And so now, of course, he does push through.
Okay.
And
that is better shape. I was thinking the other side, but this one does seem to have better shape.
Well, yes, he's doing this.
Okay.
So now he can capture those stones. Points. Yeah, so I don't know. So yeah, he does do this one. But the thing that is a little bit surprising here, because I just went through because I thought white would just connect this move. Seems like a good connection.
Yeah.
White
feels like you have to do it.
Does not do that. White plays this one to keep him unsettled.
What? That seems really desperate.
Yeah, that does. That seems really desperate.
Yeah, if he's letting black just take that stone
but it does give white an eye there, right?
It does, and it does keep it a ko.
Yeah, it's still a ko,
I'm thinking if white were to play L7, I think black would immediately play Q9, and then it's just 100% alive. And if white is behind, then white has just no chance to win.
Yeah, I was thinking that...
So this is probably a more risky way, but it gives him a chance.
Yeah, you always have to take a little bit of risk, but like this, it just seems like...
Like black is 100% alive, it gets quite a few points there.
If white's able to get this, I guess he doesn't actually make that many points.
Yeah, because the lower left is so strong.
Well, and he can just
White can just
poke
reduce
here,
as much as you want.
And this seems to already get rid of most of the points that were in there.
Yeah.
So just bad shape for White. So since White is going to have bad shape anyway, it's probably better to try to be a bit more aggressive.
Weaker. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting. It's difficult. Makes the game very difficult here.
I'm guessing after this, we're not going to be able to guess very many moves.
No, we weren't really able to guess that many moves earlier. Like a couple moves that you like because you've also studied these games a lot. So
yeah,
not this particular one, but just games like these in general.
A lot of Kitani games.
Yeah. So it feels
like you have to block this time.
I don't know.
And then, well, the reason I'm thinking is, if he, I think White has to play K7, and then Black will start a Ko, and then because he has 2 Kos, he'll win one or the other.
Yeah, so that's why I'm not sure if he should block.
Yeah, but it feels bad if White plays anything, like if Black were to play, or White to play K6, it just seems too easy for Black.
Yeah, it just seems
like
it pushes out.
He can just Atari and get out.
Yeah, it just seems too easy for Black either way.
Yeah, so it feels like a double Ko is also bad, but if White chooses to win the one in the center, he might have some potential to gain an extra point. And if if Black wins the Ko, White should have Sente.
Yeah, it just seems, as I said, it just seems a little risky for White, but that is what White is doing. As I said, he already played the 09 move.
Yeah.
So he sort of still has to go and do this, I think. He has to continue on with what his plan was.
Yeah, but it just feels no chance because a double Ko, Black's going to win one of them, so he's already alive.
Yeah, Black can just start the other Ko as a Ko threat.
Yeah, as a Ko threat.
I'm not sure that's so he might do a different Ko threat. Like what are some Ko threats on this board? I guess we should look at that.
I don't think there's anything big enough just because I think White would ignore him.
There's something big enough for White, but I don't see a big enough threat for Black.
Yeah, the only thing I think of is maybe S1, T7, and threaten to kill that, but
that's probably the only threat that he has is the corner.
Yeah, because if he does any other threat, because that corner is so big for Black or for White to kill, almost anything is not big. Like he could probably play C11 or even something like M13 threatening to kill those, which it doesn't quite work. But it's just almost anything I think White would just ignore and connect.
Yeah, and White has a really good Ko threat at S15, and then a follow-up Ko threat with the Atari.
Yeah,
and those would be big enough. That's a lot of points. So
yeah, so I think Black will just start the double Ko, so he can respond to any Ko threat and be okay.
Let's see if he decides to. Okay, good. That's what I thought. We did get this right. We're not completely foolish with this.
Yeah.
And let's see if White takes it or just connects the center. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So he's just making this Ko bigger first.
Because Black has to play R1.
Yeah, and then Black recaptures, of course.
Oh, he takes first and then he plays R1, I'm guessing.
Yeah, he probably plays R1. Let's see what White's threat is. Yeah, S15. Like I thought.
Yeah, that was the one he said was the biggest.
Yeah, I can't see any other threat that White could play. I mean, White could do something like C18, but that loses White points,
Yeah, that's not big enough.
Yeah, it's only like it's like 10 points at the most.
And it's not affecting the center group. Like it still looks like it has eye shape to live.
But of course, has to connect, and then
I'm guessing R1.
Oh, he does a local threat, I guess, first, which is threatening to live.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Yeah, it's cheating.
So he's trying to force White to use up its Ko threats.
Yeah.
Before playing R1, because if White runs out of Ko threats, then later Black can make a Ko, and would probably have more, because White is using up all of his, while Black is not really using up any Ko threats of White's.
Yeah, and of course the next big Ko threat is this one.
Yeah,
that's the only Ko threat area.
So to me, this feels really bad because it's a double Ko. Black's gonna win or live there no matter what. But because White is playing Ko threats, White is fixing all of Black's weakness. While Black is not playing Ko threats, so all the weakness that White has is still there. Stuff like C11 and other weak areas.
Yeah, so I mean, White has a couple threats here, but it just doesn't seem like it's worth it. I guess black has one more threat with RA9.
R9.
Let's see if he does that one first. Yeah, he does. Okay. Oh, MCV captures. All right. That's the bigger question. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the Ko probably.
Yep.
And I guess T13 is still the only other Ko threat.
I think so.
Maybe he can. I guess there's 2 more Ko threats in that area. Ah, okay. So it's doing this one, which is a Ko threat now.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty big.
Yeah, because if he Ataris that stone, he can capture the corner potentially.
Mm-hmm.
See, we're bad at Ko threats. This is why I bought that book all about Ko. I didn't even see this one.
I avoid Ko's in my games.
I do. I try to avoid it too. So I didn't even look at this one for some reason. This one makes sense after seeing it too. So of course,
yep.
And then just capture
back. I guess the next move.
What? What's the next
I was gonna say white takes back.
Oh, okay. No. I was like, can you guess black's next move now?
Like I said, the corner is all that's left, so maybe around T7, T8, or S1.
Yeah, T8 would be better, which is what he does here. Because if you leave the Atari, that leaves white an option to make points.
Yeah. So it feels white S1 is only move.
Yep. And black still has that backup Ko if he needs it.
Yep.
Which is so freaking annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was this guy, I'd just resign.
I was gonna, yeah, but white's a pro, so white has to at least
maybe
wait until the position is finished before resigning. But
yeah.
This game I don't think goes to resign.
No, I believe might go longer. And okay, white's milking all the threats he can get out of this. So he throws in here.
Yep. But I can guess this one.
All right. I'll let you guess.
Yeah, T17.
How'd you know?
Yeah. It was a difficult one.
I know you wouldn't have normally been able to figure it out, but this was a different situation.
So now all that seems left is R1.
Yeah,
so
unless
there's more local.
He could push it T7 first, right?
I don't think so because he can push twice.
No, it's 1, 2, 3. Yeah,
black
you're
still
right.
has 4. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's no good. So I guess just R1. And is there anything else that we're missing because we're stuck at Ko threats?
Yeah, I really don't think so. Unless like M9 works, but it doesn't seem like it would.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's just the only one. Yay!
Got it. Yes.
Now, okay,
although
good.
Technically, this is also an easy one.
Yeah,
because it's the only move.
Well, yeah, but you know, we suck at Ko for sure. That's one of our weaknesses.
So
and
white does
here, just connect.
White connects, yeah, and then black connects.
Maybe.
So here's an interesting question.
There we go.
Would this be the start of endgame? Where should we stop? Like, maybe you can look ahead a bit because I think now it's just endgame.
But I'll look ahead real quick to see if he just does if it's just endgame from now on. I guess it's basically just endgame. No. So here's a good question though. To leave everybody. Especially you. This is a very good question for you. What's the biggest point on the board right now?
So we're going to do the A, B, C, D. Well, since there's so many open, should we do more?
We shouldn't do too many options. But
okay, so 4 A, B, C, D then.
Yeah, I want you to come up with the options here though, because you're the one who wants to work on getting better at endgame stuff, right?
Okay. Yeah. So for white, it's white's turn.
Yeah, it's white's turn. So the biggest move on the board for white.
I would say B8.
B8. Okay, so there's A.
And also another big one I would feel is F2.
F2. And we can do just maybe one more, because I choose one more option, because there's only 3 possibly biggest things I can see anyway. So
yeah, the A and B are probably the hardest one, the biggest ones I've seen. The next one I think somewhere around L18.
Yeah, that one seems pretty big because black can cut there. So this is the next one that I would say those are probably the 3 biggest moves on the board, and one of them is the correct move.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so just let us know in the comment section which move you think might be the biggest in-game move, or if there's a move that we didn't label.
Yep. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope it was somewhat entertaining.
Yes.
See you next time.
Yes. See you in the next video.
Part 3 should be
within a
few days, right?
Well, depends on how long the video is, but within a few days, right?
Yeah.